From the studio that brought you The Notebook, yes, that lovely, lovely romance, and of course the creators of Barbarian have a brand new film in store for you, and that is Companion. Now, yes, this is very much produced by Zach Kreger, who did an amazing job with Barbarian, a film that I absolutely loved that year. Hearing that he is producing this project instantly got me excited, but it always interested me that they were pushing this with that thing saying the studio that brought you The Notebook, because this is very much a twisted love story that I really loved. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing Companion. With no spoilers, you are safe. I'm going to be as vague as possible. I'm not even going to mention what has happened in the most recent trailer because I think it gives away a little bit too much. But basically what I'm here to tell you is that I really enjoyed this movie. I think this is such a great date night film. And also it has a great exploration on abuse in a relationship too. And again, I'm going to be vague because I think the less you know about the film, the better. Basically, what I'll tell you is that Companion is a new horror film from the producers that I just talked about, as well as kind of a love story to it. It's a twisted love story of some sorts with Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid that now follow them on a weekend getaway amongst friends in a remote cabin, which unravels into chaos. That is genuinely all you need to know. Yes, you've heard that concept before. Friends go to a getaway location and something happens, and this time, shape and form, something does happen, and it's honestly pretty surprising. Leaving it at that, I think this, again, just like Barbarian, the less you know, the better. And I wish I had gone into this film not with any expectations of what like people have been like kind of raving about the film, or even like what the most recent trailer kind of dissected into the film. Because I think knowing those things kind of lessens the blow of certain reveals. And while there's one massive reveal pretty early on, the film only continues to unravel from there. And it's really hard to talk about the movie, but I'm going to do my darn best. Again, make sure to leave your thoughts down below. Hit that like, subscribe button. Let's talk about our pros. So first thing I want to mention, Sophie Thatcher. I've always loved her. Every little role that she kind of pops into, she's always amazing. But I think this is the role that's going to make people go, who the fuck is that? She's amazing. I've seen her before and stuff. Oh, this was easily her best performance. Like, that is what people are going to say, and she is unforgettable in here. She is undeniable. I know it's only the start of the year, but when it comes down to the end of the year, this will probably be, like, top 5 favorite horror performances of the year. Just, like, in all the essence and everything that it's written into the role, Sophia just absolutely nails it, and I love it. Same thing, Jack Quaid is undeniably great in here. I think the rest of the cast is good, too, but, like, very much those two are the center focus of this all, and they both absolutely kill it. I think like their romance for the most part is pretty solid. Again, the film, it's not too long, so it's not like a fresh situation where they very much build up on something and then like, holy shit, it's like a giant thing. But from what you can see from the start, they're cute, they have chemistry with one another, and I like that. I think the thing that really works here for Companion's sake is that almost every single thing in this film, for the most part, other than the overall concept, and what separates it from like these unraveling of chaos with getaway trips, is the fact that Drew Hancock, the writer and director of this, does a really just great job with, first off, the script and what's able to be infused into the script. As I mentioned, the film kind of does a really great job at talking about like love and abuse in a relationship and kind of how that pulls and, again, can trigger some people and pull them back into a relationship. But for me, I found that to actually be one of the most sentimental and biggest pieces of the film that makes this actually work to another degree that I was not expecting at all. Like, genuinely, I was expecting like some nuance there, but the way that it kind of, again, fleshes out, and by the end, I just felt very satisfied. Like, this entire circle that Drew Hancock puts into here is one of the big pieces that separates this from just being a very fun and entertaining horror comedy and actually settles into something that's a little bit deeper, which I appreciated. Alongside that, the other thing that Drew Hancock does a great job with writing into here is who you're rooting for. What is the situation? What is going on here? All twists and turns are revealed of what people and what their motivations are. I really found myself engaged with each and every one of those things and wanting to see how the main character would get out of this. And even for the most part, what I loved about this is making you feel empathetic towards the actual victim of this entire story, which is pretty indicated pretty fast, but again, I'm going to stay vague for that part. And with where we are in the world right now and certain things kind of going on, the fact that it does make you empathetic towards things like that was kind of interesting. Again, it's a topic of discussion that we can talk about later on once everyone has seen the film and they know what the thing is in this movie. For me, I liked how empathetic you got towards that. And again, as the film progressed, you very much are on board for this all. And Sophie Thatcher, again, I like I said, her performance is great, but the way that the script handles her character, I think, was just absolutely fantastic. I also really like the subtle world building to everything in here. It's small, it's subtle, but it's something that intrigues you. And in a way, it feels like a Black Mirror Twilight Zone type of approach. And I felt the same way with Barbarian. And in a weird way, you can kind of feel like these would be in the same world, but again, told through that Black Mirror, told through that Twilight Zone aspect. And I just love, and I hope to continue to see this from Zach Cregger with whatever he's developing next with his new project, Weapons. Whatever else they end up producing along the way, because Drew Hancock, his background comes from comedy, and the way that he's able to write, again, a dark, twisted love story here. I know it says horror. There definitely is horror aspects to it, but it more is into that aspect of a dark, twisted love story. I love to see that. He also in here is great, but for me, the last thing I really want to kind of just mention is jump over to some of my mixed and my issues with the film, which some of this might just come down to the fact that so many people had hyped up the movie, and that's why as much as I enjoyed this movie, I don't want to say that this is like one of the best horror films of the year. It's awesome. Like, don't get me wrong. This movie is awesome, but for me, it wasn't like the same effect to what Barbarian gave me when I had seen that movie, which still, can we just talk about for a second? Where's the Blu-ray? Where is the Blu-ray for Barbarian? We need it right now. What's sad is Companion will probably get a Blu-ray before Barbarian, which I would buy the Blu-ray for this, but really? Is tangent over. I don't want to hype this film up and say, oh my God, it's one of the best things in the entire world. It's a really great horror movie and is a really fun genre movie, but it's not one that's going to twist and shake your world up. And I want to set those expectations there. If you love it more than me, awesome. If you hate it, that's fine too. If you thought it was just fine, that's cool too. Companion is just a really entertaining movie that does have, and this is like some of my minor tidbits and like issues with the movie, it's just a little predictable, I think. Like once you kind of get that initial thing of like what the reveal is, I found that the rest of the twists and turns were a little bit predictable and kind of seeing where it was going to navigate and sway through, and that's okay. Like it didn't disappoint me to any degree or like piss me off that like I knew. It was just fun to see it kind of set off there, and again, some of my predictions were a little bit off, but it always ended up swaying back to what I expected. And overall, Companion's just fun for that ride. Companion delivers everything you'd expect from hearing that it's from the producers of The Notebook and Barbarian. It's dark, it's twisted, it's bloody, and yet it's deeply emotional. It's a gripping exploration of love, abuse, and survival, and I found that to be probably one of the best aspects of it. But Sophie Thatcher gives an unforgettable performance and one of the best of 2025 so far. I know it's early, and we've only seen a couple films, at least in my book, but when it comes down to horror, it would be very tough to see at least this not hit number 5 on the top 5 horror performances of 2025. With all that said, guys, I'm going to give Companion an A-. Thank you so much again, guys, for watching. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and comment down below your guys' thoughts. And of course, until next time, stay classy.